And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. I apologize for the extended break, but we were just waiting for our players to have a series available, and we are jumping into another qualifying match. As you can see, just underneath me here, we are jumping in mid-series. We missed out on game 1. Fjant versus MindelVK is underway, and Fjant is up 1-0. Just realized I have the wrong team name. One moment here. There we go, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Solaris, we have our red Protoss player representing Storm Gaming. Down in this series, but it's a best-of-5 qualifying match. Plenty of games are ahead of us. It is MindelVK. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the yellow Zerg player representing Team Ruddy, leading the series 1-0. It is Fjant. And very quickly, if you are in the chat, we will have some predictions going. Obviously, the predictions may be leaning in a certain direction because we are mid-series. We already have scores, or a couple of scores revealed in a certain direction. So best of luck with your bets here on how you think this will unfold. Game 1, we don't know what happened, but it was a 14-minute game. It was a relatively long game between these two players. So best of luck with those predictions as they are in the chat. Behind this, Fjant going for a standard hatch gas pool, standard opener from our Zerg player. Likewise, MindelVK going for a gate expand. Again, I'm not too sure what map game 1 was on either, but it seemed to be more of a back and forth longer game that did eventually go in favor of Fjant. But we'll see if that continues to be the case here, or if Mindel does turn it on, because we have seen quite a lot of aggression from Mindel in the past, especially in the mid game. So we'll see if that's going to be the case. Gases are being taken. Fjant just establishing himself again. He was at least able to get his natural base up and running. Should quickly post in the chat as well. Predictions open. Good. I was hoping for the DNS routes. The PvPs, yo, we got plenty of don't worry. We'll get there, Papi, we'll get there. Don't you worry. So now the Overlord is going to be getting across the map. Again, there are currently 2 other PvPs going on in the qualifying matches. And I think DNS did just defeat Forjumi 2-0, so he's going to be ongoing against Mana in a fresh PvP, but we'll get there. Meanwhile, Mindel, oh my god, we have seen this already here tonight. We do have a Robo first. A little bit more unorthodox. Lings, they do slip into the main base though. If we fan out our Lings, we do get eyes on the tech of choice, just barely. And it is not a Twilight Council, it is a Robo opener. Now, with a Robo-based opener, this should be a Disruptor drop. Should be, because there are some players out there that do embrace Colossus drops. So you could also throw down 2 more gateways and start up a Prism and go for some vanilla gateway harass. But Disruptor drop is typically where this does take us. Now, earlier today, we were actually casting a different ZvP. We were casting Fjant versus Hydra, if I recall correctly. And Hydra actually went double Robo, quadruple Disruptor production with a double Prism drop, and he just went wild, and he did take down Fjant earlier today in qualifier number 1. So I'm curious if Mindel is willing to embrace that and whip that out here in game number, or in the second qualifier. We'll see. For now, Lings are moving out. We do have a very early Roach Warren here from Fjant, just to be safe and sound, just to be secure against this opener of choice. There is that Bay on the way, the Warp Prism. This should be leading into, again, Disruptor drops. He's going to be dipping in between the bases, making sure that everything is as it should be. Now, when it comes to this build of choice, the downside here is that it can be quite difficult to take a third base, depending on how aggressive Fjant wants to be. Speaking of, we already have Roaches and Lings on the way. We have our answer, by the way. It is not going to be double Robo. We have a Twilight Council as a follow-up, and another gateway, a very delayed third base. Almost looking like a 2-base all-in setup. Oh my god. That's going to be 4 gates in total. Lings are moving out again. Fjant hoping to try and delay that third, the third that for the time being does not exist. Lair is on the way here for Fjant. He's establishing his third base. Another good option against this is to go into something like Spire play and Muta production. But we have Blink Stalkers as a follow-up. Oh my god, MindelVK just doubling down here. So if Fjant were to rush into a Spire, I think he'd just die. I think this is it's gonna be a very aggressive follow-up. Prism moving out across the map. Disruptors have been dropped. Nova going to be going off, and oh my jeez, the speed zone's wild. Does affect the Nova. Meanwhile, the Roaches Ravagers have been revealed. The first Nova's on cooldown. Second Nova goes off. Oh, good connection. Is that 3 Roaches? 3 Roaches do go down. Fjant has arrived, but there's no breaking this natural base. We have shield batteries. We have an overcharge. Fjant still cutting work. Actually, no, sorry. Actually, re-droning behind this. Getting up to 57. Taking his gases and getting into Lingbane Roach Ravager. Lair is done. Roach speed is on the way. Nova's going to be going up. Oh, going for the Lings. Oh, not quite connecting though. Good splits here from Fjant, minimizing his losses. Chipping away at those disruptors. And again, Fjant just making sure that MindelVK cannot expand. And he won't be expanding because we can see Colossus production and a massive gateway explosion. That's going to be 4 more gateways. That is 8 gates in total. It's a 2-base all-in, straight up out of Fjant. Nova goes off, takes down a Ravager. Another Nova does shave off one of those creep tumors as well. Now, Fjant is still amassing an army. Now, if Fjant was too greedy, if he teched up, if he went into something like a fast infestation pit or a Spire or a Hydra Den, he would be in a lot of trouble, but he's cutting workers early. 56 drones. He's checking. He once again confirms that there is no expansion. There is no base. Yeah, Fjant, he's just confirming the 2-base all-in, and he is respecting it quite a bit. There he goes up. Up! Decent connection. And again, so far, 7 Roaches, a Ravager, 17 Lings. Over time, this adds up. Like, Fjant is doing a great job here at just preserving these disruptors and gaining value over time. And here comes the all-in. We have 4 disruptors, 1 Colossus. The Lings, they get in. The Lings, they do slip into the main base. They're going to be forcing a defensive warp in. As they get into the mineral line, probes are going to be going down. At the same time, Mindel is committed. 7 workers fall. Doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're all in, every worker counts. And can Mindel pull this off? Can he break his opponent? Overlord's gonna be shut down. Waddling onto creep. Fjant getting ready for a surround, but here come the Novas. The reaction! Ooh, delayed reaction. Massive Nova goes off. Second one as well will connect with the army. But the Colossus gets left behind. Where was the War Prism? Not there to juggle, not there to support. So we do barely save one of those disruptors. But Mindel is being forced back. So far, a good start for Fjant. I mean, I say a good start. He did take some Novas to the face. There were some brutal Novas there. But he at least shuts down the Colossus. He's amassing a larger army. Still see MindelVK with a comparable army size. Never going to be going up, zoning back the forces here of Fjant. Fjant coming in for a surround. Does come in from behind, getting on top of those disruptors. Good dodges here against those Novas. Every single link goes down, but we get on top of the disruptors. There's only 1 left. Only 1 does remain. And Mindel, he is running out of steam. Still heavily reliant on Blink Stalkers. Blink Stalkers aren't bad, but again, there's nothing to do with those Lings. Files will connect. The all-in continuing here for Mindel. He is making another disruptor behind this. Never goes up. Gets 2 Roaches. Hatchery is under fire. We're going to be able to focus down the base. The base does fall. We're chasing this back. We're getting within range of that shield battery, but sorry, of that prism. But so far, Fjant unable to get there. Oh, the War Prism! The War Prism got sniped! Ah, did go down to those flanking Ravagers. They shut down the Prism. We get on top of the army as well. We go straight for the Disruptor and it will survive. Does get recalled. But again, Mindel, he lost his War Prism. He's lost his way to reinforce. It is being rebuilt, don't get me wrong, but he has to back off. He's lost so much momentum already here. And Fjant, he's got his third base back up and running. We have a fourth on the way. Fjant still has a solid economy. Just make sure that there is no third Nexus. And Mindel is still 2-base all in. It's a 10-minute 2-base all in. Doesn't stop, doesn't end. Now, can we pull this off? Again, if we do connect with these Disruptors, I do think we can break through. But everything has to work well here for Mindel. No more mistakes, no more missteps. Link counterattack gets across the map. As we are attempting to break through, we do force the overcharge back at home. We force the defensive warp in. Soldiers pushing forward. Oh my god. Nova's just grazing the army, but Fjant, he comes in from behind. The Disruptors are exposed. They do get saved. They get saved in the end, and Fjant, he wants to chase this all the way down. Not the best trade here, fighting off of creep. But he knows that he has a supply on his side. The Novas! Oh god! Massive connections! We have one more Nova in the chamber. We have two, actually. Two more Disruptors. And we'll see if we can pull this off as Fjant, he's running out of steam a little bit. He has to back off. Another Nova. Good splits. Good splits from Fjant. Pylon going to be going down. And yeah, we cannot break this position found. We have to back off from here. We don't want to overextend. We don't want to throw away too much. As he's getting his fourth up and running. He can afford to drone. A little bit supply blocked. Should be teching. There it is. +1 melee now on the way. Mindel still on 2 bases. We can even start working on the fast infestation bit to get into Hive Tech, to get into Vipers. Third base now on the way. Has been spotted by Fjant. He sees, he's aware. Soldiers, they catch the Link Bane. Link Bane gets caught out. As they get dragged out of position, we do have a massive Link counterattack here. We get on top of the base, and the Nexus is going to be cancelled. Once again, these Novas, they're wild. There's a cancel on the Nexus. So they shut this down. Novas are a little bit premature there, but how many Disruptors? We have 5 Disruptors in total. 5 Novas are available. But Fjant has maxed out. There we go, just trying to collapse up this ramp. Pushing into Nova's never an easy thing to do. Big connection. Shave off some Lings. Yeah, breaking this natural is going to be so difficult. Yeah, it's not going to be worth it. We just deny the third over and over again. Waiting for the army to expose himself. Nova's going off time and time again. The Colossus has arrived. Big connection in the Link Bane. Oh my god, massive connections actually. But we may just have too much anyway. We're breaking in. We're breaking through. Shield battery goes down. We go for the Colossus. And we don't get it. Oh god. Again, Fjant doesn't want to throw away too much as we are remaxing with Lings and Banelings. Mindel is barely holding on, but he just doesn't have enough. The only hope here for Mindel is for Fjant to overextend, but the fact that Fjant turned back around is, again, not ideal here for our Protoss. Can he somehow establish his third? Can he get it up and running? Whilst they shave off the Lings. Fjant. Just fanning out his units, trying to find a way in. Taking another base, taking a 5th. Droning up. Working towards a hive as well. Again, Vipers would really kind of seal the deal here for Fjant. Abductions would shut down the Disruptors and the Colossi. And I'm sure Fjant is aware of that. He's working on it. +2 is on the way. We get another surround. Not quite. Base will be saved. Mindel getting his third. Now, economically, Mindel's in a pretty awful position. He's got 36 probes. Doesn't really have much of an economy to speak of. But army-wise, pretty comparable with the Zerg. The reality is that we could pull off an all-in. I think Mindel's been trading well. You can see here, almost 400. 354 Lings have gone down this game, 43 Roaches. Trading even in gas, but mineral-wise, oh my god. Forget about it. But here we go. The Vipers are finally in production. This is what we've been missing. This is what we need. Rocks are being knocked down. The Lings, they go to town. Oh, the Colossi go to town. The Lings, we're getting on top of the Disruptors. Up. We get one. One Disruptor gets picked up. Good force fields here from Mindel. You can see his army is still terrifying. This is a death ball of an army. Oh my god. Mindel up in army supply. He can take a fight, unironically. Ultra Caverns on the way. Like, essentially, Mindel is super maxed. Like, he's been trading so efficiently that he's been building up his army over time. 3 Colossi, 2 Disruptors. It's terrifying. Obviously, Mindel has no longevity to his army. If he loses a fight, then it's all over. But Storm is about to finish. Vipers are coming in. We are looking for some abductions. Nice feedback. Oh my god. All the feedbacks. Fjant is going to be forced back. I'm so paranoid about being on the wrong scene. I keep checking. I keep checking, pal. There we go. 4th base going to be denied. Mindel, he is on his way to maxing out. Storm is done. Fjant does have a bank. He's working towards Ultras and 3-3. I still do worry for him. There we go. Mindel taking a forward base. If he can establish a 4th, like, he can max out. 100%. And start working on a bank as well, which would be wild. Lings, they try to come in for a counterattack. We are in position. A lot of Lings do get shaved off. At the same time, we do come in from the right-hand side. We're getting on top of the base. Let's go. Not bad trades. Fjant sprinkling in a couple of Ultras. Now, we don't have any Immortals. We have a lot of Stalkers, which can do well against Ultras, but without Immortals, these Ultras, they can pack quite a punch. There we go. Next is going to be going down the mineral line as well. Good pick off at the same time. Lings coming from behind. Never's go off. Good connections, but it looks like this base will fall. And Mindel is being forced all in. He's completely all in at this point. The 3rd base will go down. And Mindel down to 16 workers. It's all or nothing base. They're all in. Black Templar. The Templar, they barely survive. A big storm's going to be going off, but they did take some Baileys to the face. Colossi are exposed. Blinding clouds get thrown down. And the Stalker army is breaking through. Big yoink here on the Colossi. Mindel is breaking through, but we have 36, 40 Lings on the way. 7 Ultras as well. If it wasn't for the Remax, then Mindel could just end the game here and now. As he's pushing up the ramp, getting on top of the Vipers. Reinforcements are on the way, but here come the Ultras. The Lings and Ultras. GG gets called, and Fjant will take game number 2, taking a 2-0 lead in this qualifying match. GG. Ooh, and for those that are curious, the sun has risen. I don't know if you can see, but I'm significantly brighter. The sun has risen. It is almost 7 a.m. 7 a.m. in the morning, Poppy. Let's go. Let's go. We started casting at 11 p.m. And the StarCraft doesn't end. It's GG with that. Fjant does take a 2-0 lead. One more game, and Fjant will qualify for the OSC Championships. Mindel needs to fight back here and now to make a series out of this and to have a more back and forth. Here we go. As we have our next game being set up, we're going to be loading into 2,000 atmospheres. Here we go. It all comes down to this. Again, potentially our final game of the series, and we're going back in time a little bit, back to 2,000 atmospheres. Feels good to be back. And I appreciate that when it comes to this map pool being an extended map pool, our players are willing to embrace some of these older maps and more than willing to play on them. That says something. It does say something. Because here we go. We're getting into our next game, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of 2,000 atmospheres, we have our red Protoss player representing Storm Gaming. Down in this series, we're going to fight back. He needs to fight back here and now. He needs your support. It is MindelVK. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Swedish Zerg player, the yellow Zerg representing Team Brody. It is Fjant. The light is entering the light again. Oh no. Get the light away from me. I had too much of it. It's fine. The sun, it burns. Oh god. It's okay. We can keep going, Bobby. We can keep going. Again, this is our second qualifying match. We still have 2 other qualifying matches behind this as well. The PvPs are still on the horizon. Here we go. We do have Mindel coming in for a bit of the scouts. Gonna get eyes on the Hatchgas full standard opener from our Zerg player. Mindel was wild last game, going for a robo opener into a 2-base all-in, not something you see too often. And you saw how much power it had behind it. Even though, of course, Mindel had no economy, he had a massive army, and he was heavily reliant on winning a fight and snowballing out of control, getting on top of the production, getting on top of the hatcheries, and ending the game in that way. And there was a world out there where he could have won. He traded damn well with his disruptors. But it did take a little bit too long to really get going and to move out. Fjant was able to remax multiple times, even incorporating Ultras and Vipers, and did snowball out of control. But here we're settling into game number 3. Again, on a map from times gone by, from years gone by, 2,000 atmospheres. Feels good to be home. So now we are going to be droning Third base is soon to be taken. Probe does get eyes on this. We're going to try and delay it for as long as we can, but Lings have arrived, and Lings should be getting on top of this worker. Oh, and for the first time this series, that is going to be a Stargate opener here from Fjant. It's going to be Stargate, should be for Oracle-based play, but we'll keep our eyes on Mindel. Did I say Fjant? My apologies. Oh, God. It is going to be Stargate opener here from MindelVK. Should be for Oracle production. We'll see if we go into Void Rays or Phoenixes instead, which is definitely an option. It is viable. Two Lings, they do dip in. They do confirm the opener, and it is going to be a Void Ray. Okay. MindelVK, you have my attention. You do have my attention here. As with this Void Ray opener, we're going to be shutting down the Overlord, shutting down any kind of scouting information. Oh, never. Oh, wait, what? Uh-oh. As we canceled the Void Ray, started the Oracle, canceled the Oracle, went back into a Void Ray. The mind games are real? Question mark. As Mindel's becoming a little bit indecisive here. Is going to be committing to that Void Ray. With it, going to be shutting down again. The Overlord's going to be keeping the Zerg player in the dark. Overlords are already getting the hell out of there, pulling back. Live VIP, do you sleep? I will sleep right after this. Yeah, the fatigue is setting in. We do have another cast later on tonight. We're going to be covering, of course, the beginning of World Team League. The playoffs do begin Friday evening, and it is Friday morning here in Australia. So in around like 15 hours, 15? No, like 14 hours time, 13 or 14 hours. So I am more than happy to just, right after we finish the cast here, go to bed, sleep for a good like 10 hours. Yeah, like let the darkness engulf me, let it take me, and we wake up, we get some food, and then bam, back into casting. As we do here on the CranKy Ducklings. We cast every day. Sometimes multiple times a day, like today. Let's go. As Lings have arrived. Tomorrow is going to be, I believe, World Team League. And then after World Team League, we're going to be casting a New Year's Cup. A New Year's event. Hosted by Hatsu. So we have 2 broadcasts tomorrow. And then 2 broadcasts after that. And then after that, yeah, you know how it is. As the Void Ray is going to be shutting down this hatchery. Fjant going to try and get in position, but it should be a cancel on that 4th base. Behind this, it was a Void Ray first, but to quickly go over what's been going on, we have a 3rd Nexus behind it, so a very economic-based opener here from MindelVK. And even though he has hidden tech that hasn't been scouted, it's standard play. It's going to be Blink and +1 with Oracles alongside. Lings, they do come in for a surround, but the Adepts, they will survive. Ooh, did I speak too soon? No, we have the overcharge. 3rd base will be held. 4th base is going to be delayed here. Fjant forced to expand on the right-hand side. And Fjant is going to be amassing Ling Bane. Baneling Nest is done, +1 melee is on the way. And Fjant does have Banelings in production. He wants to try to break this 3rd base and try to slow down, cripple the economy of MindelVK before we can really get going. And there it is. Banelings are waddling in. The overcharge is on cooldown. Lings, they come in, they get us around. Banelings, they try to get into the mineral line, but they're being stopped. The Stalker is standing strong. The Banelings are waddling in. They're trying to get past, trying to get into the mineral line, and 1 will connect. Big connection. But 2 Banelings take down the mineral line, not 1. And the probes will survive just barely. Oh my god, that was a juicy connection, but again, 1 Baneling is not enough. We just needed Automas, 1 more. And that would have been in the entire mineral line going down. And Fjant, I'm sure he knows he wants back in, but we have Stalkers in position. And Mindel will hold. Behind this, Fjant's going to be droning. We do have a Roach Warren on the way, double expanding, taking a 4th and a 5th base. Fjant's with an okay economy. I mean, he stopped his own worker production in favor of Ling Bane, and so far it hasn't been worth it. He almost made it worth it, almost got into the mineral line, but he needs better trades. Diving on top of these Stalkers, Blink is done, they do blink away. Fjant has been a little bit careless here. He has been bleeding out a lot of units. Still just now trending up to 65. Additional workers are on the way. And MindelVK is getting quite a lot of momentum right now. He's pushing towards the left-hand side, towards that 5th. We have stasis traps to support. +1 is done. Links from behind. Up the stasis. Decent stasis trap here. Yeah, and here come the reinforcements. MindelVK, he's breaking through, getting on top of the queens. Where are the roaches, by the way? There are none. Lings are doing what they can, but we're bleeding out so many Lings. Mindel, he's edging ever closer, but the stasis will run out, so we have to respect it. We have to deal with it. Again, there's been 111. Look at the trades. 111 Lings for 3 Stalkers. 111 Lings. It looks like we have it broken through. The base goes down. The transfuse 1 second too late. Stasis trap's going to be going up. We do have a decent engagement. The Lings are getting on top of the Stalkers. We are getting on top of them. A better trade here from Fjant, but again, he's been bleeding out so much. Behind this, we have +2. We have +1 carapace on the way. Roach Warren is done, but there have been no roaches. We need to, like, roaches, we need them to support the army here with roaches, with ravagers, with biles. Just add some extra DPS. Hatchery is going to be denied. Fjant getting ready for a counterattack. It's going to be quite committed here. There's potential. There's potential to take down a mineral line, or potential for MindelVK to just swat it away and to counterattack. There we do have a surround. Kind of a surround. Again, really good positioning here from Mindel. The Lings are trying to engage the Stalkers, sorry, the Queens as well. Bailey said, well, again, we get into the mineral line. Do plus forward. The Stalkers will go down, and we do clean up so many of these probes. Finally, damage is done, but does it matter? Is it too late? Because Mindel has a terrifying army. Lings are engaging on creep. But so many Lings are going to be going down. The blinks are looking good here from Mindel. The Stalker's getting very low, but we shave off every single Ling. At the same time, probes are still falling here at the 3rd base. Mindel is pretty all in, but he has already killed 1 hatchery, and now he's going to get a 2nd. Second hatchery does go down. Fjant working on an Ultra Cavern? Oh my god. Working on an Ultra Cavern. Infestation Bit's going to be going down. Fjant getting ready for another surround. He is down in army supply. She's trying to bring everything together. These Stalkers are very low. And he does take down a lot of these Stalkers. Good trade. Good trade as we're getting on top of these Queens. Mindel, he still may just have too much. This may be the beginning here of a comeback. As Mindel, he's breaking into that natural. Really good positioning here as a part of this ramp. Reducing to that service area. Yeah, big warp in behind this as well. It looks like Mindel, he has too much. He has broken through. He has broken the bases. Wedged himself in between the natural and the main. We have 5 ultras in production. Kindness plating is not done. And is 5 ultras enough? Can we hold? Yeah, +2 carapace. Adrenal is on the way. Stalkers are breaking through. They take down the infestation pits. The ultras are coming out. Can we hold? Here we go. The ultras, they have arrived, but they're being focused down one after the other. Remember, they do not have kindness plating, and they are just so squishy. They have enough though. Oh, we're breaking in. Prism's gonna get targeted down, but yeah, the ultras, they melt before the might of the Protoss. Mindel, he has broken through. He'll be fighting back. GG gets called, and Mindel puts a point on the board. GG. GG. My brain wanted to say that we're tying things up, but then I realized that this was game one for Mindel. Okay, well, we got this. We can keep going. Can keep going here. Here it goes. We are getting into our next game. As we are getting to game number 4, and again, Mindel able to snowball out of control. Fjant being a little bit too greedy with his playstyle. So winding it back, talking about what Fjant was attempting to pull off, Ling Bane is a thing. Like going mass Ling Bane into ultras is very much a thing you can accomplish, but you need map control. You need momentum on your side. If you are stuck defending back at home, then you're in a lot of trouble, and that's where you do have to invest into roaches. And to not invest into them is just a really greedy thing to try to get away with. You are cutting quite a lot of corners there, and as we saw, Mindel was able to just out-trade Fjant, able to break through, able to snowball out of control. Really good stuff there out of Mindel. And Fjant does stumble a little bit here, and is this the beginning of a comeback? Let's go. Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Hard Lead, we have the red Protoss player representing Storm Gaming. Putting a point on the board, and can we tie this up? Can we force the ace match? It is MindelVK. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have, oh my god, we're going for a 12 pool. We're going for a 12 pool, Poppy. We have our Swedish Zerg player, the yellow Zerg, representing Team Roddy. It is Fjant. Thank you, Squirrel Fun. Thank you. MindelVK is StarCrafting a pretty good StarCraft this game, but I see Fjant also StarCrafting the StarCraft in a very StarCrafty fashion. But neither StarCrafts quite like Light's Giga Crafting no sleep craft. It took a lot of effort as we're going for a proxy hatch as well. So this is going to be an all-in. Like, there are 12 pool variations which are just openers that are designed to transition into a longer game. But nah, Fjant, he's doubling down. Proxy hatch here outside the natural. Fjant wants to end it all. Wants to try to break his opponent as he does get into the mineral line. So he does get into the wall. Does throw down that hatchery. Immediately Forge. Oh my god. MindelVK, it's not his first time. Forge is on the way. Cannons are a must. As we throw down the Cyber Core, Zelda's being chronoed out. So if you're curious here when it comes to the defensive play of the Protoss, we need the Forge here because we have very limited production, very limited gateways are available for MindelVK. Cannons are so useful in this position, especially against an all-in. Lings are flooding across the map. Oh god, we are supply blocked for a moment there. Forge is done, and cannons are on the way. Now we do have some good surface area here on the gateway. Gateway going to be taking a lot of hits. The gateway is going to be falling. We do have a secondary wall behind this, but the gateway will fall, and this may just become a little bit too much. We have one zealot to hold. The cannon is still on the way. They get only one gateway. Can we get us around? Not quite. Shield battery may just be 1 second too late. We get a secondary wall behind this. Zealot will fall. And Fjant is expanding, but Fjant is also getting cannon rushed. Uh-oh. Again, a solid defense here from MindelVK, and Fjant, he doesn't see.
We have met the enemy in combat.
Fjant, he's trying to transition out of this, but we are cannon rushing, and there's no saving this. There's no saving the space. Fjant is droning. No queens back at home. No lings back at home. We have a Roach Warren on the way. And Fjant is going to be forced onto one base. Oh boy. Overlord goes into the main, does get eyes on the Stargate, going to be a Void Ray opener. Cannons are done, and Fjant has to cancel. Fjant going to be forced to expand here at the triangular location instead. Mindel going to chase him, going to follow him, going to confirm. Okay, so we're in a really awkward position here. One, we should be seeing Void Rays here from MindelVK. Meanwhile, with this early Roach Warren, we can go for an early Roach push. I don't know if we can break our opponents here, but we can morph in Ravagers. Things can get a little bit chaotic. We'll see. We shall see. Hydrate your hydras, but not ultras, otherwise they melt. They do. I don't know where this is going. For now, this gateway looking very exposed, just barely out of range of the cannon. Oh, that's really awkward positioning here. Yeah, we do force a cancel. Roaches are on the way, Ravagers as well. Fjant hasn't droned. Bear that in mind. He took gases. He has a hatchery on the way. No droning. No droning whatsoever. Fjant is all in. And he's hoping that maybe MindelVK would be a little bit too greedy. Now, Mindel, he's got second cannon on the way. Shield battery, Void Rays are in production. The first Void Ray still coming out. But the Oracle does catch some of those lings. Only 2 Ravagers, it's not going to be enough. Yeah, Shield battery going to be topping everything up. We can focus down the Ravagers. And MindelVK will hold. He will shut this down completely. The pylon will hold, will survive. Oh. And every single Ravager is focused down. Without Ravagers, we will not be able to break this position. And Fjant is still flooding links. Link speed just now starts. Very late link speed here for Fjant. Uh-oh. And we're droning? We start one drone at least. One drone is on the way. Fjant amassing links. But the longer this goes on, the better it's going to be here for MindelVK. He's got his natural base up and running. 2 shield batteries, 3 pylons, 2 cannons, additional Void Rays as well. We are lacking a ground army, but we're getting our second Stargate up and running for Skytoss. Oh, and there's nothing that we have against Sky. There's no answer. There's no answer to the Skytoss. Not in this game state. Oracles are moving out. We have 2 queens in the main. A bit of miscontrol there out of MindelVK. He did focus down the queen for a moment. Cannons are eventually being dealt with. And it looks like Fjant is droning. Looks like he's going to try to transition out of this, but he's got half the worker count of his opponents. Still has all these lings. And from here, if Mindel wanted to, he could throw down a Fleet Beacon. Fleet Beacon and just rush into carriers. That's going to be Overlord speed on the way. Interesting. You don't really start Overlord speed in this... Okay, there we go. We cancel. I was like, what's the plan? We don't really have queens for dropper lords. Like, we can't... What do? We cancel. That's the answer. Cancel Overlord speed. It's just not really going to be a factor here. Lair is on the way. A lair on 26 drones. Nidus? Nidus all in? Question mark? I mean, yeah, Nidus has the Oracle's egg. They go ham. They go ham on the Spore. We're still massing Oracle. We're just going pure Oracle at this point, having our way with that natural base. Drones are getting picked up. Lings have been spotted. When the Lings are here to deny the third. Here we go. We get us around. We do force a cancel. It is Fleet Beacons on the way, but we're getting into Skytoss. Meanwhile, with the lair, we're going into 2-base Hydra, I guess. Oh, we're throwing whatever we can at the wall, and we're looking to see what sticks. Problem is that the wall's been oiled up, Papi. Nothing's sticking. Nothing can stick. Aye. How many oracles do we have? 8 oracles at this point. We can honestly fight all the queens if we wanted to. We take control of the natural. We can barely drone. We can barely mine. There we go. We have found those queens. Gonna be able to focus them down one after the other. First queen, second queen, third queen falls. GG gets called, and we are going all the way to game 5. We're going to the ace match. Let's go. GG, well played. Again, the 12 pool did fall on its face. MindelVK was able to defend beautifully and cannon rush across the map to just counteract and cripple Fjant's economy. There was no redroning, there was no remaxing, there was no transition out of that. Fjant followed up with a Roach all-in, a Roach Ravager based all-in. But he was up against Oracles and Void Rays, and MindelVK was able to defend. And now we have found ourselves in Game 5. It all ends here. It all ends in the ace match. Let us go. We went the distance. Mate. Almost every qualifying match that we've casted tonight has gone to the ace match. It's wild. Like Rex versus Battle B, Rex versus Baby Marine as well. Future versus Battle B went to game 4 at least, but you're getting a lot of ace matches, Papi. A lot of ace matches. Let's go. Here we go, spawning in the bottom right hand corner of side Delta. We have a red Protoss player representing Sidestorm Gaming, clawing his way back into this, forcing that ace match. It is MindelVK. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Swedish Zerg player, the yellow Zerg representing Team Roddy, going for a 15-15. It is Fjant. Our 15-15 opener has arrived. Going for the cancel, going for our spawning pool. Is a very, again, safe way to open up here. You're able to get your natural base up and running where you do want it. From here, we get into a faster spawning pool for earlier link production. It is a little bit less economic here for Fjant overall, but he's able to get a secure 2-base setup here to make sure and to deter any kind of Twilight-based play. But what I appreciate is that this opener is, again, meant to get you into the mid game, which means Fjant is not being hyper aggressive this time, where we're calming things down, we're evening things up. No kind of crazy 12 full shenanigans, no link floods, none of that. Tis worth. Well, it is great to see again, just something a little bit more standard here to get into the mid game. But now gases are being taken, going to be droning on up. Likewise, MindelVK is soon to throw down his tech of choice, whether it's a Twilight Council or a Stargate. I'm imagining a Stargate, but the pylon is thrown down behind the mineral line, so it is designed to hide tech. We'll see what direction we go in. The Airlord's going to be floating on in. Likewise, Lings are fanning out, and it is going to be a Stargate here towards the left-hand side. Of course, Warp Gate was delayed. Fjant, I'm sure, is aware that Warp Gate did not begin, so I'm sure is aware of the Stargate opener from his opponent. Now, we have already seen a Void Ray first out of MindelVK, so we could be seeing Void Ray again, or we can just go straight into Oracles into a third. Mindel has options here. Depending on his first unit, that will tell us how he wants to approach this matchup. Lings do dip in, Fjant gets a full scout, he gets confirmation of the Stargate opener. He doesn't see the first units, but is aware of the Stargate at least. With this, Mindel's going to be moving out. Once again, it is in fact going to be that Void Ray first. As I mentioned before, with the Void Ray opener, we can hide our tech. We can go for Glaive at Depths, we can go for a 2-base all-in. There's a lot available here for Mindel. But the last time we saw him go for this opener on 2000 Atmospheres, it was just for a 3rd base into +1 Blink Stalkers. So it doesn't have to be aggressive. As the Depths are going to be threatening a Shade. They don't commit. Behind this, Twilight Council's on the way. I do not see a Forge. There's the Robo. Another Gateway. This kind of looks like Glaives. I'm curious if that's going to be the case. The lack of Forge is the big tell. But usually if you're going Glaive Adepts, you throw down 2 gateways, just so we can start warping in a little bit earlier on. So I'm curious if this is going to be Glaives or a bit of a different direction here. There it is. It's going to be Charge. That was the other thing on my mind. It's going to be a Charge-based all-in. I mean, we're getting ready to expand, don't get me wrong, but this is very committed. Yeah. This is very committed. We have 4 gates on the way in addition to the 2 that we already had. So 6 gates in total. And we may be able to go up to 8 gateways behind this. Now, the reason why I say this is an all-in, and I don't really know if he really plans on saturating his 3rd, is because there's no Forge. There's no Forge, there's no longevity here to this composition from MindelVK. This is very committed. It is designed to hit hard, to hit fast. And there it is. We had 6 gateways. Now we have the 7th and 8th gateway. Yep, it's going to be a 2-base 8-gate all-in. Mindel is not taking his gases at his natural, which means there's no Archons to support this. And Mindel is not making any more probes either. So he's trying to lure Fjant into a false sense of security. Fjant behind this is going to be joining up. Bailey Ness is on the way. Fjant does get eyes on the 3rd at least. He's aware. But has he pieced this together? Because Fjant doesn't have a Roach Warren. No Roach Warren is going to be a brutal defense here. I'm really concerned for Fjant. Lingbane can defend, obviously. Like, with really good Baneling connections, we can clean this up. But we are heavily reliant on good Baneling connections. Without them, Mindel's going to snowball out of control. And here we go. The Zealots are moving out. Now, Mindel is saturating his 3rd. But again, is still very committed. We'll have another warp in available. And do you know what I see? I see 0 Banelings. I see 0 Banelings. Roach Warren is on the way. Fjant is about to be caught with his pants down. Like, he is not ready for a mass Zealot attack. And here we go. We're coming in. And there's nothing here. There are Queens to defend. And the Queens are going to get shut down. We're going straight for the mineral line. We do still have the Zealots. We go straight for the 3rd base and the natural. A lot of Queens here at the 3rd. But drones are going down. The Lings, they race back home. Decent engage here from the Lings, but we have more Zealots behind this. Big warping into the main base as well. And this may just be where it all ends. Banelings are now in production, but they're so late. They're too little too late at this point. Yeah, we're focusing down the Banelings. We may be able to finish up a couple of them, but 15 drones have gone down. We get on top of the hatchery as well. And the warp-ins, they just don't stop coming. Again, a 2-base 8-gate all-in, catching Fjant completely off guard. We kill every single Queen, 15 workers. The Roach Warren has fallen. And we barely have anything. I mean, we saved a lot of drones. We have 41 drones here in this mineral line. Banelings will finish. Oh! Banelings, they are finishing up just in time. Big warp in behind this, though. No Banelings left. Oh, no Banelings are remaining here. And the Zealots, they break through the Lings. GG gets called. It's just too much to handle. And MindelVK will take the series 3-2, qualifying for the OSC Season 11 Championship. GG. GG, well played. Fjant was bamboozled a little bit. He was lured into a false sense of security. He saw the 3rd. He was like, oh, you're macroing, right? You're probing up. You're saturating your 3rd base. We should be getting into a longer game, right? No, papi, no. A mass charge, that is all you need. No Forge, no +1. Only 2 gases, 8 gateways, Zealots, and a dream. And with that dream, Mindel will qualify. Fjant is going to be knocked out, and we'll have to try again another day. Again, tomorrow we have 2 more qualifiers for the OSC Championships. So there is another chance for Fjant to bounce back. There is another chance. There is another opportunity. But, yeah, with that, we'll have to try again another day. Congratulations here to MindelVK. A really powerful comeback here. You could definitely argue that in some of those games, it did look like Fjant was overconfident, specifically in the game where he 12 pulled, and also in 2000 Atmospheres. It looked like Fjant, because he was up 2-0, he was maybe feeling a little bit too confident coming into it. He's like, oh, I got this, you know, like one more game is all I need. I can close this out fast, quick, and easy, and I can just walk away with my qualifying spot. But you gotta put some respect here to Mindel, Pop. You gotta respect the name, as he has been on fire recently. And congratulations to MindelVK. My condolences to Fjant, as Mindel does qualify. And with that, we have another 2 series here that are ongoing, and I'm not too sure as to what's going to be happening here. We may go on a short break. I believe let's switch our scenes over. I believe these PvPs were underway and they actually did wrap up.